Before we hop in, those that know me, I'm 6'5", and Chelsea's around 5'3". 5'3".
A generous 5'3".
So we were just playing musical chairs here, trying to figure out how do we get this right so it didn't look like, the giant and the little lady. So I think we've got it right. So hopefully we look good out there for you in TV land.
Please notice that we look like we're about the same height, but I am not touching the floor, and like 3/4 of Rod's legs are on the floor. So that is important to know.
Hi, welcome to Opportunity Miami. My name is Roderick Miller. I'm CEO of the Miami-Dade Beacon Council. And today I am so excited because I've got the yin to my yang, Francesca de Quesada Covey, the Chief Innovation and Economic Development Officer for Miami-Dade County. Welcome to Opportunity Miami.
Thank you so much. It is wonderful to be here.
We're so glad to have you. So I've been in Miami now 2 years. It'll be 2 years on February 15th.
Congratulations.
Thank you, and I love it. But one of the things I've noticed about Miami is that Miami figures stuff out. As the Chief Innovation and Economic Development Officer for Miami-Dade County, you have Miami as your playground. Can you talk to us a little bit about the things that you're most excited about and what types of things are we tackling to build the economy and make it better here?
So I love my job because I think it is about problem solving for Miami-Dade County, which is a $12 billion a year budget, 30,000 employees. It is a dynamic landscape of people that are working every day to make this community better for its residents. And my focus areas are threefold. One, economic development, which is what you know so well. So how do we attract companies and grow our economy in a sustainable way so that we can have really, really good jobs for our residents. The second is economic opportunity. So how do we create pathways for our residents to be able to have the skills that they need to get those good jobs? And how do we support small businesses, which make up roughly 80% of our community? And then economic innovation, which is how do we make sure that we are thinking about where our economy is going and how do we bring in innovation to do things that drive greater efficiency and greater results for our residents. And so those are the three sort of buckets that we work on with my team. And it is all underpinned by the values of the mayor, which is one, increase trust in government, and two, increase the quality of life for our residents. So all of our work has to translate back into those two priorities that the mayor has set.
Let's start off by bragging a little bit. It feels like Miami, every year, it's a new record in terms of investment coming in. It's a new award for whether it's for foreign direct investment, whether it's for the airport. I mean, our economy is really growing in leaps and bounds, and there's lots of opportunities here. What are the things that you're most proud of that you've been able to work on with the mayor and the county?
I am very, very proud about how we have been able to grow commercial real estate down here while also tackling our affordable housing problem. It remains a problem, but we are seeing rents stabilize. I am really proud of the fact that we are making investments in the operations and maintenance of our infrastructure that have been deferred for many years, but we are making those investments now. I am really proud that we are building resilient solutions to make sure that we are adapting and mitigating extreme weather events. I am really proud that we are one of the safest communities in the country and that we work really hard to make sure that our homeless population is well served and that they are finding housing solutions, and also that we are thinking about our mental health and the ways that we can support our community across the continuum of care. And I'm really, really proud that we do things with our own flavor, right? We do it in a Miami way. And so we are still a fun, amazing place to live. And that translates into the Latin Grammys, it translates into Art Basel, it translates into the World Cup coming here. So we get things done while having fun. And that is really unique.
I would be hard pressed to find a community in the US and probably in the world that wouldn't be envious of Miami.
I think that's right.
But when you think about Miami, we are a community that has a world-class airport, a world-class port. We're on the water. We've got great academic institutions. We've got a lot of great things going for ourselves. But I say that our greatest asset is always very clear to me. And I know you know what that is. It's our people.
Absolutely.
The things that you're talking about here, I want to double click on actually all three of these things. The first one being affordable housing. That's probably an everyday conversation in many communities. And what I say is it gets more expensive because the value is so high. But that's not a solution for the family that's struggling and trying to figure out how do they stay in this community that they love. So can you talk a little bit about what you've done around affordable housing and making Miami more livable?
So we have tackled this in 3 ways, and our director of housing, the housing department, Alex Ballina, has been an amazing advocate for this, working hand in hand with the mayor. And in fact, the mayor elevated him just a few months ago to report directly to her, because this is just such a priority. So we have increased the supply of affordable and workforce housing. We have made it faster and easier to apply for permits so that you can do that construction. We have also created programs to keep people in their houses. So we leveraged a lot of the federal dollars that were coming down under the previous administration in order to make sure that we were helping people stay in their homes. But you know, Rod, when we think about this, affordable housing is we really, in the Office of Economic Development, we look at it as a pyramid that we're trying to solve, which on the one hand is housing, on the other side is transportation, and on the other side is good jobs. We want to ensure that not only can we increase the supply of housing, we want to make sure that people can get to their jobs faster and get home faster, and that it's comfortable in their commute, and that they also have really good paying jobs that are careers, so that they come with benefits and where they can stay long term in order to meet the demands of their family and also the demands of this really rapidly changing world.
And what's interesting, we talk about this stuff, it's very natural for us because this is the stuff that determines whether companies come or whether they not come or whether those investments happen, because they want to make sure their people can live. So you hit on infrastructure, transportation. Can you talk a little bit about what's happening there?
The mayor did the Better Bus Network about 6 months ago, which was the first time that we were updating our bus system in 40 years. And we have seen an increase in ridership from the Better Bus Network since then. We are one of the top 10 counties in the United States in terms of ridership. And we have been able to see an improvement in most people's time. Now, with all of this, some people were affected and some bus changes were made, but we are really working with data in order to understand where we can get more people into buses and how we can make sure that the mobility solutions that we offer are focused on consumer demand, which I find really exciting because I think that that's a new way of talking about it in government, and that's sort of my business background that brings that in. We're also making incredible investments into transit. We are unrolling the South Dade Transit, which will come online this year, and we're working with our federal partners for east-west corridors and for the north corridor. And that is not just with our federal partners, it's also with our Florida partners as well. So this is really a focus area and a priority of the mayor and of her entire staff to make sure that every single mobility solution that we offer is optimized for people to live and have the best experience that they can.
And this is not a Miami thing. I think everyone does this, but people love to talk about what we don't have. And I think it's a false narrative. I am the CEO of the Beacon Council, and I take public transportation every day. And I'm not just talking about the train. If I have a meeting and I can get there by bus, I do it because it's a value for me as it relates to sustainability, but also because I've learned that with a little bit of planning, you actually can get a lot of places using the public transit system. So we want to be partners with the county in helping to tell that story because I think it's such an important one to be told.
I totally agree. So first, we want to put your poster up and tell people the fact that they can meet you on public transportation. Have a little cafecito with you on public transportation. Talk about the issues that are affecting our economy. For us, it is habit change. It's also making sure that we have the lines where people are moving. One thing that I always like to remind people is that we are a very young city. So when we compare ourselves to a New York or a Boston or a Chicago, those are places that have had infrastructure for hundreds of years. And we're much, much younger than that. And so we're going through a lot of growing pains. And I really think that one of the reasons, you were saying earlier that people are envious of us, they're also envious of us because we've been able to grow as quickly as we have. I still see us as, a little bit of a teenager, and maybe we're a young adult now, but we're finding our way and doing so in a very graceful and elegant way. So we also need to afford ourselves the grace and the time to get it right.
And so the third part of that is resilient solutions. Can you talk a little bit about resilient solutions? And it's interesting because every place is facing the challenges of our changing world and environment. And of course, we've had our own challenges. And I often tell people what I feel most confident about Miami is that we've never buried our heads in the sand. For a long time, this community has said, we've got to live with this and we want to be the best at it. And so I've been very impressed just with your leadership and that of the mayor. So can you talk about not only what things have been done to make the community more resilient, but the economic side of that in terms of the business opportunity?
This is one of my favorite topics, so absolutely happy to talk about it. So in addition to being the Chief of Innovation and Economic Development, I'm also the Regional Innovation Officer for the Tech Hub, which focuses on resilient solution. And we have received about $22 million from the federal government and from philanthropic donors in order to build out this Tech Hub. And the Tech Hub focuses on scaling readily available and proven technology that helps us adapt and mitigate to extreme weather. When I talk to people about this, I start at a place where all of us that grew up in Miami can relate to, which is in 1992, Hurricane Andrew came and destroyed South Florida. And at that moment in time, we decided no more. And we changed our building codes, and we worked with the private sector, and we worked with economic organizations, including the Beacon Council, to ensure that the destruction and the devastation that happened would never happen again. And since then, our building codes are global standard bearers of how you should build. We are the most exposed economy in the United States to extreme weather with $3.5 trillion in assets. So we have to take this seriously because we know that this is not just about protecting our people, it is about protecting their livelihoods long term. And so the Tech Hub, what we are focused on is how do we take that know-how in sustainable, resilient infrastructure and turn that into new products that can be scaled. And so we're focused on energy efficiency with updated HVAC systems. We're focused on coastal resilience with seawalls and sea hives that you can put to break waves. And we're also focused on clean concrete and cement so that the buildings that you're making use less carbon and can also do carbon capture. And all of this is built in South Florida technology that is ready to scale. And so what we're working on right now is deployments. And so we're working on deployments of the HVAC systems in county facilities. We're working on deployment of the concrete on county sidewalks. We are working on deployments of the sea hives and the wave mitigation in the Bay. And all of that is steadily moving forward to this place where we can protect ourselves more from the very real reality that when I grew up, it was much easier to get to school for my parents because the roads didn't flood as much as they do now. When we think about this issue, a lot of us immediately think about those incredible, beautiful homes that are on Miami Beach and on the water. But this is not a problem that only affects those on the water. We are built on a swamp, and so when there is more water, areas of the west side of the county and the south side of the county are flooding to some extent even more than those are on the water. And so this is an everyone problem.
That's important.
And we want to make sure that people understand that the solutions that we're offering are for everyone, not just for a select portion of the population.
That's great. And this is going to create a lot of jobs.
So we estimate it's going to create more than 60,000 jobs when it's fully funded. And it also has been creating jobs. So one of the organizations that we're working with is IOUE 47, which is a union here, and it's a construction union. And they have been laying thicker seawalls for dozens of years. And they're highly trained, highly specialized. So we're really excited about it because we're also able to show the federal government the data. If we invest in this, it will create jobs. And these aren't jobs that we think will be created. We know based on the data that they will be created, which is really cool.
Tell us a little bit more about yourself. How did you end up in this role? What brought you here, and what do you enjoy most about your work?
So I have a very non-linear way of getting here. I have to say I never thought that I would work in local government. I started my career working in DC and made my way to the White House in the Obama administration, and I helped translate business, community, advocacy, and needs into policy across the federal government. That led me to a role at Facebook, which was at the time less than 5,000 people. So a much different company than what it is now, Meta. And I worked at Facebook, and it was an amazing experience. And I helped scale new products to underserved communities across the globe, products around connectivity and payments. And then I had the opportunity of working with our senior leadership team. And I left Facebook to go work for a local VC, a venture capital firm here in Miami, with somebody that deeply believed in Miami and decided to move from San Francisco to open up a venture capital firm here. When I went to work for her, I also had the opportunity of doing a night fellowship to support Mayor Levine Cava. And I didn't know much about Mayor Levine Cava because I had just moved back from San Francisco. So with Meta, I was working in San Francisco. I got to know her, and it was one of those things where I said, this is the type of leader that we need here, but the type of leader that we need across the country. Absolutely. She is both visionary and pragmatic. She is a deep problem solving. She is a caring and compassionate person. And she also really can get to the meat of the issue very quickly. And so she has all of the qualities of an exceptional operational leader. And I had the opportunity to work with her and advise her on tech and innovation, which was my background. And the more we worked together, we founded the Miami-Dade Innovation Authority together after a trip to Israel. The more we worked together, the more I wanted to work with her. It was one of those sort of, the more you do, the more you want to do. Yeah. And so I
feel the same way, by the way.
Because she's amazing.
Yeah.
She is amazing. Mm-hmm. And so I had the opportunity to come and found the Office of Innovation and Economic Development and to really build it out. And I have been there, our paths are a little, February 15th, mine is March 14th. Okay. So almost 2 years that I've been there, and have been really, really proud of the work that we've been able to do on behalf of the mayor and her priorities.
You work with a lot of small companies, big companies all across the board, all over the county. Can you share with us 2 or 3 companies that the regular average citizen may not have heard of that are doing amazing things in Miami-Dade County?
This is tough.
Oh, okay.
How do you pick between your favorite kids,
Yes, indeed.
What I would say is I am really impressed by the entrepreneurs that are here. And I'm really impressed by the way that the academic institutions are helping entrepreneurs grow and scale. And so to all the big companies that are here, the Masstecs, the Royal Caribbeans, the NCLs, the American Airlines, I think it is so cool that we are a town where our largest 50 companies, you will know somebody that works in each of them. So that is amazing. To the small business companies that are growing here, I am personally really impressed with the companies that are scaling nationally. And across the region, we have Half Moon Empanadas that is scaling nationally. We have Celsius a little bit more up north, but is scaling nationally. Companies that are thinking about new energy. Blue Frontier a little bit more up north, but absolutely impressive. Titan Cement has they could have put their innovation center anywhere. They chose to put it in Miami-Dade County. And so the people, Guillermo, that's leading that work, he specifically chose to be in Miami, and that's really special. Citadel has done incredible things for our community already, and so making sure that they're there. I'm thinking about a few other companies, but I want to leave with this, which is on Monday night I was at an event, and I met this woman who was who was Procter & Gamble and then L'Oreal, and she has spent 40 years in the shampoo industry, and now she's building out her shampoo company in Miami. And amazing story, amazing entrepreneur. And I said to her, where do you manufacture? And she said, right here in Miami-Dade County. And she said, we have excellent manufacturing that happens here in cosmetics.
Wow.
And what I love about, I know, me neither, right?
In our jobs, we didn't know that.
We didn't know that.
That's how much stuff is going on in our
That's
economy.
how much stuff is going on in Miami-Dade County.
Yeah.
That she is building, she just closed her Series A. It's hair care product for women that are 50 and over. And she is building and manufacturing here in Miami-Dade County. And how cool is that? How cool is it that our economy is that diverse and that we support all these people to build their dreams here in Miami-Dade County?
Well, you heard it here first. We were so glad to have today with us Francesca de Quesada Covey, Chief Innovation and Economic Development Officer for Miami-Dade County. Thanks for joining us on Opportunity Miami.
Thank you so much. Great to see everyone. Thank you so much.